Alright, in 8.6 we're going to be solving rational equations, equations that look like this. And it's a pattern a lot of times, such as in this chapter, that will introduce a new kind of an expression, like a quadratic expression or a rational expression, polynomial expression. And towards the end of the chapter, we want to be able to solve those kinds of equations with those types of expressions in them. So just when you think you know how to solve for x, we just throw another curveball in there. So to solve a rational expression, I'm going to prescribe one set method that I think works the best. Okay. Now, if you're reading the book, it will have a seemingly different approach for this kind of an equation. And this kind of an equation is one where you have one fraction on one side and just one fraction on the other side. So that just one fraction on each side. So they seemingly tell you a different way to do this kind of an equation, and then later they'll tell you when you have more than one fraction on a side of the equation to do it, quote, differently. But I'm going to have us do it the same every time, because to me that just makes more sense. I think trying to have you do it a, quote, easier way for this type of an equation and then remembering to do it a different way for another kind of an equation is just more complicated in the end. So anyway, let's get to solving this rational equation. The first thing we're going to do is find the lowest common denominator between these two denominators. So the first thing that we do is to factor each of them completely. That's done. They're both factored as much as they can be. And now we're going to write down any shared factors that these two have, and they don't have anything in common. They don't have any factors in common. And then we'll write down the unique factors that they each have. So the common denominator is going to be x plus 5 times x minus 3. Okay. So next, I'm going to say, once we've found the lowest common denominator, so let's just put this, find lowest common denominator, multiply both sides by the lowest common denominator. So let's do that now. So x plus 5 times x minus 3, and multiply this side by x plus 5 times x minus 3. Okay, on this side what happens? Well, we could put this over 1. That helps us a lot of times to see what's going on. And we see, look, there's x plus 5 here and x plus 5 here. We can cross cancel, and all that's left is x minus 3, so that we get 2x minus 6. I just distributed the 2 to this parentheses here. On this side, the x minus 3's cancel, and we get 3x plus 15. And now we solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides, and then subtract 15 from both sides, and get negative 21 equals x. And that is x. Okay? And then I guess the third step would be solve for x. Because you could wind up with a polynomial, could wind up with a simple quadratic. Depending on what needs to happen, different steps will be taken to solve for x. But here in the intro video, that's pretty much it. That's what I want to introduce is find the lowest common denominator of all denominators in the equation. If there's 3 or 4 of them, find the common denominator of all of them. Multiply both sides by the LCD. Why do we do that? Because I think you'll see here, if we have all of the factors of all of the denominators, then when we multiply through by the common denominator, all the denominators are going to get canceled out. Okay? And then we solve for x. So we're going to do more involved, more complicated problems in the sample video. Thanks for watching.